As for the IR changes, small business is going to get screwed because, again, the dream of the far left in this country is that you work for the government or your business works in service of the government. As we saw with Daniel Andrews and the lockdowns, if you're part of a big union movement like the construction sector, you get to keep going to work. If you run a restaurant, we will fine you for opening the doors. So right now there's a debate about whether or not unions will be able to get involved in businesses of people who have just 15 employees. Just 15 employees. Here's some of what happened today in Parliament.
This issue has been quite contentious in the Senate already. Whether he's been conveyed that message or not, I'd be very surprised if he hasn't.
He actually just gave the game away. He actually said, even if you add all the extra context, it's about a medium-sized business, the question, not about the small business minister. So even if we accept everything he's just said, they've still got it wrong.
Is the argument now that the small business minister can't answer a question in relation to medium-sized business? Is that the argument being put by the Leader of the House? I mean, how long does this protection racket continue on for?
And as you've heard tonight, they screwed up the actual cost that may well be there for business when it comes to getting drawn into this system. And of course, yesterday we showed you the great buzzsaw when it came to the BS was none other than Senator Michaelia Cash, who was able to expose that one of the ways they came up with the potential cost of $14,000 for small businesses, 15 employees, well, they came up with that by Googling it.
Let's talk about the estimated cost of the consultant being $175 per hour. How did the department come up with this figure?
Figures that we're required to use are often drawn from average uses of either consultants or hours per, or what a sort of an average hour might cost.
Is it true that the department actually got this figure from the website www.authentic.com.au/how much should I charge as a consultant? Which member of the department Googled how much should I charge as a consultant?
I'd have to take that on notice.
It's a farce. It's a mess. It's a war on small business. It means that unions who have never really been able to get into small business will now have a way to do it. And David Pocock will end up doing this. Why? Because they'll end up giving him more senators in the ACT. Now, I support his territory rights bill because I think that people everywhere have the right to be able to have euthanasia legislation. But watch this space. This is all the deals that are happening right now. And why are these people clueless about the actual cost or impact on small business? Because as we showed you, of the 23 people that are in the senior ministries of the Albanese government, just 2 have any experience working in small business. I'm not talking about when they were a child, I'm talking about running a small business. One is the trade minister who, when he wasn't a senator, launched his own wine brand. And the other is Tony Burke, who just tells us he was in small business, but I'm not entirely sure when that was. That's it. These people are writing the rules and they are paying back the people who got them elected. That should be a major concern, but because the left is only interested in big government and big business loves the idea of big government and big unions because they're able to do deals, you saw the very industries who are being screwed over by this legislation were in the Prime Minister's private plane when flying back from a business function from Sydney to Canberra before going to that jobs summit. As long as they get invited to the cocktail party, who cares? You get screwed.